Hello everyone. Today, meodentv is spicing things up and taking a detour from the usual content to dive into some social issues. Let's talk about an intriguing article by Catherine Kim, an assistant editor at POLITICO Magazine, titled "No Sex, No Dating, No Babies, No Marriage: How the 4B Movement Could Change America." The gender divide in Korea is not just wreaking havoc locally, it's packing its bags and setting its sights on the US. So picture this. I'm sitting in a trendy Brooklyn bar with my cousin, fresh off the plane from Korea and exploring America for the very first time. Naturally, I hit her with the question, "How's your love life?" Her response? A dramatic adjustment of her baseball cap and a tight-lipped grimace. "I'm not interested," she declares. "I just don't trust men. You never know what they're thinking, whether they secretly harbor misogynistic thoughts. It's so normalized these days, why would I even take the risk?" Yikes. My cousin isn't just uninterested in dating, she has zero plans to get married. Her dream? To create a close-knit community of single women. And here's the kicker. It's not just me, she tells me. None of my friends are into dating anymore. This is all we ever talk about when we meet up. Turns out, my cousin and her squad are part of a growing trend in Korea, fueled by the 4B movement. What's 4B, you ask? It's a radical feminist campaign that's all about rejecting four things. Bihon? No marriage. Biyone? No dating. Bicholson? No birthing. Bisex? No sex. The movement emerged in the late 2010s as a response to skyrocketing gender inequality and violence against women in Korea. Imagine a country with one of the world's largest gender pay gaps and daily news of brutal crimes against women, often at the hands of men they trusted. With such a grim backdrop, 4B activists believe the best way to make women safe and force society to care is to ditch men altogether until real change happens. Here's the plot twist. The 4B movement isn't just staying in Korea. Post-Donald Trump's re-election, it's gaining traction among women in the US, many of whom are seething over the role men played in securing his victory. On TikTok alone, top videos about 4B have racked up millions of views, and a viral post-election tweet on the movement has snagged 450,000 likes and a jaw-dropping 21 million views. So, is the 4B movement here to stay in the US? It's too early to tell. But even if it doesn't fully take root, the surge of interest says a lot about the ripple effects of the 2024 election. With misogyny on the rise, cue the cringy, "your body, my choice" comments from men online, 4B's message could resonate deeply. And here's the thing. Even if American women don't fully embrace the 4B label, the core ideas bodily autonomy, safety, and anger at systemic injustice might just shake things up in both politics and everyday life. Korea's experience shows us what happens when a gender war goes nuclear. The question is, will America follow suit? Think of the 4B movement as a labor strike. That's how Soha, a Korean feminist sharing only her online nickname to avoid harassment, describes it. It's a refusal to take on the unpaid overtime of being a woman, whether that's dressing to please men, managing a household, or playing by patriarchal rules. These are societal expectations that weigh heavily on women, especially in South Korea's more conservative environment. Soha's point, this isn't just a Korean issue. It's a universal one. Plenty of women live by the principles of 4B without explicitly adopting its label, partly out of fear of backlash. For my cousin, the movement isn't just about rebellion, it's a survival tactic. It helps shield women from escalating violence, avoid frustrating encounters with misogynistic men, and resist an anti-feminist government that seems determined to erase hard-won rights. Gender as a political predictor. In both Korea and the US, gender is increasingly shaping elections. The aftermath of the US presidential race reveals a stark reality. Male identity politics played a key role in securing a Republican victory. The GOP harnessed gender grievances to woo the bro vote, while dismissing Vice President Kamala Harris's achievements as mere identity politics. Young men were a significant part of Donald Trump's voter base, leaving many young women feeling disheartened. The gender gap in American politics is growing, with men leaning further right and women sprinting left. For example, an NBC News poll showed 57% of women backed Kamala Harris, compared to just 40% of men. As American women grapple with the consequences of a Republican trifecta, like threats to reproductive rights and a resurgence of sexist rhetoric, many are seeking both revenge and relief. And for some, the 4B movement offers a roadmap. Lessons from Korea's gender wars. Korea's most recent presidential election is a cautionary tale. In 2022, conservative candidate Yoon Suk-yeol clinched victory by rallying young men who felt sidelined by the #MeToo movement and the country's push for gender equality. Yoon's anti-feminist platform claimed structural gender discrimination didn't exist, even as South Korea ranked near the bottom in the World Economic Forum's Gender Equality Index. Young men celebrated his win, convinced that men face more discrimination than women, a belief that flies in the face of statistics. Half of women aged 19 to 29 report workplace sexual discrimination, compared to just 30% of men. Between 2021 and 2023, female sexual assault victims rose by 15%. For many American women, Korea's gender divide feels eerily familiar and serves as a warning of what could happen in the U.S. The 4B buzz in America. The 4B movement is already making waves on U.S. social media. One user on X, formerly Twitter, called it a way to take control of your life under him. Another urged, "We need to start considering the 4B movement. We can't let these men have the last laugh." Meanwhile, TikTok is full of women announcing they're joining 4B after breaking up with Republican boyfriends. Even in Korea, 4B advocates see this as a natural evolution. Yeonhwa Gong, a Korean 4B supporter, remarked, "When I saw the movement go viral in the US, I thought even US women must be at their limit. But I don't feel too bad. It feels like a long overdue action finally happening." Why some women are just tired. Adopting the 4B mindset isn't just about avoiding men, it's about avoiding uncertainty. Even men who align politically with women can't always provide a safe space. Case in point, a viral video teaching pro-Trump men how to hide their politics while dating. "How do you know he's really who he says he is?" my cousin asked. "I used to think I'd want to find a good man someday, no matter how hard it would be, but now I don't feel that need anymore." For her and many others, the 4B movement isn't just a choice, it's a form of self-preservation. Is the 4B movement too radical for the US? The 4B movement might sound like a wild idea to some, but its rising popularity in the US says a lot. For starters, it shows that many young women are feeling more vulnerable since Donald Trump's re-election. The 4B discourse in the US prompts us to reflect on how much society has taken for granted or overlooked the rights and freedoms that women rightly deserve, says Hyejin Jeon, a University of Maryland PhD student researching feminism in Korea. If the movement gains more traction in the US, it could lead to similar consequences as in Korea. Imagine this: women second-guessing every date, marriages and birth rates plummeting, and a growing epidemic of loneliness among both men and women. At the same time, politicians might seize the opportunity to deepen the gender divide, ramping up sexist rhetoric to secure votes. And here's the kicker: even women themselves could turn on each other. In Korea, feminist groups have fractured over issues of inclusivity, as Min Young-moon, a Clemson University lecturer, points out. Married women, for instance, are often dismissed as serving the needs of men, which alienates them from the movement. Sound familiar? It's already happening in the US, with debates online about whether women with male partners can participate in 4B. The risk of backlash. And then there's the elephant in the room, the backlash. The long-term effect I see is very negative, because they chose the radical strategy, giving men and anti-feminists reason to hate them even more, says Moon. Conservative voices are already attacking 4B followers online, with videos popping up on platforms like YouTube mocking and bashing liberal women. A new dream for now, though. The movement seems to be gaining momentum. Women are rethinking the so-called American dream of dating, marriage, kids, and a white picket fence, realizing it might be more of a trap than a dream, designed by men who don't see them as equals. And women like my cousin? They're not buying into it. To live with close friends, to have the ability to live on my own, that's my dream, she says confidently. So, what do you think? Could the 4B movement change the way we live, love, and think about relationships in America? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more thought-provoking discussions.